今日は雪の調子が落ち着いてよかったですね。ちょっとね、溶けてね。さあ、もうだんだん8時半になってきたので、皆さんちょっと今ご入室していただいております。今日は約300組近くの方にお申し込みをいただいておりまして、私たちもお申し込むときに教育移住とか、母子留学とか単身でお子さん行かせたい情報収集ってあるんですけども、その中でですね、皆さん結構教育移住、また単身でって結構こう、母子留学、かなり強い、関心を感じました。で、本日スタートするんですけれども、もうそろそろ行っちゃって大丈夫でしょうか。はい。では、時間になりましたので、早速始めさせていただきます。私、インターナショナルスクールタイムズ編集部の村田と申します。平日の夜、皆さんちょっとこうね、おくつろぎの時間帯に、今日は、インターナショナルスクールタイムズと、朝日放送グループホールディングスが共催で開催いたします、アジアで学ぶ英国式最先端教育。今注目のエプソンカレッジマレーシア完全分析。これもうムック本ができるんじゃないかっていうぐらい盛り込んだタイトルでございます。で、本日はですね、この後ですね、英語が中心になります。で、皆さん、ズームの下の方にですね、挙手っていうボタンの隣に通訳っていうボタン、地球儀のマークがあるんですけれども、そちらが見えていらっしゃいますでしょうか。そちらから日本語、または英語をお選びください。で、日本語を押していただきますと、日本語で、同時通訳の方が裏で頑張って通訳してくれますので、そちらも、ぜひお聞きください。で、なおですね、ウェビナーですので、チャット機能がございます。で、チャットの方はですね、随時ご質問を受け付けております。で、お答えはですね、全体の説明が終わった後、区切りのいい時に、ご質問内容にお答えいたします。で、ご質問内容なんですけども、できれば、今、ちょうど映っていらっしゃいます、マッシュ先生、で、まゆ先生、まゆ先生宛てにこの質問ですとか、こういう感じです。マッシュ先生、こうなんですけど、どうでしょうかっていう質問を、チャットに入れてください。で、なおですね、本日エプソンカレッジからのアンケートフォームが、リンクが貼られます。で、そちらはですね、ご記入いただきますと、本日の、ウェビナーの、感想と同時に、あと個別相談とか、そういう話もできますので、そちらもぜひご記入ください。エプソンの最新情報、また3月、4月の、品川、大阪での、来日の相談もできますので、そちらもぜひご記入ください。さあ、では私の話はこれぐらいにして、鶴さんにではバトンタッチしたいと思います。鶴さん、ではよろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。皆さん、こんばんは。朝日放送グループホールディングスの鶴と申します。先ほどですね、村田さんの方からご質問がある場合には、チャットにというふうなご案内があったかと思いますけれども、早速で修正で、訂正で恐縮なんですけれども、Q&A フォームというところが、Q&A というボタンがございますので、こちらの方からご質問がある方は入れていただければと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。じゃあ、ここからは英語に切り替えさせていただきますので、もし日本語でお聞きになりたい方は、チャンネルボタンを日本語に、していただければと思います。よろしくお願いします。はい。Good evening, everyone. My name is Tsuru from Asahi Broadcasting Corporation, which is called ABC. It's my great honor to be a moderator in this webinar. Let me introduce myself briefly. Before joining ABC, I worked in Singapore for 8.5 years, and my daughter and son went to the international schools in Singapore. Through my personal experience, I learned the importance of international education, which is different from Japanese standard education. Sorry. However, after I came back to Japan, my wife and I realized that it was limited to access to the information of international education. So my teams and I started International Education Expo last year in collaboration with Global Step Academy to achieve the goal to provide the better quality of information about international education in Japan and overseas. As we are planning to have the same event in Tokyo on 12th of May, which is on Sunday, so please join our event. Thank you very much. So tonight we invited two excellent speakers. Matthew is a headmaster in Epsom College in Malaysia, and he has a long track record as an excellent educator in UK Matthew, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Matthew, may I ask you to brief your self-introduction?
Yes, good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for taking the time to join us this evening. It's my pleasure and my privilege to share something about international education and perhaps a bit more specifically about what we do at Epsom College in Malaysia. So thank you very much for this invitation, and I very much look forward to sharing the information we have.
Thank you, Matthew. Next is Mayu. She's an independent and reliable education consultant and a mother with 2 children. Mayu, thank you very much for joining us tonight. May I ask you to brief your self-introduction?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here today. I'm Mayu, and I am an education consultant, student mentor, and also a writer. My passion lies in empowering individuals through education exploration. So for over 4 years, I've reached out to thousands of readers through my website and newsletters, primarily dedicated to parents of children from 0 to 18 years old. A little bit of my background, I received American education for most of my school life and went to an international school in Japan. I went to a boarding school in the US and graduated from the University of Tokyo with a bachelor in education. Yeah, I hope this session will be as informative, inspirational, and empowering as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayu. Okay, so let's get started. The first session from Matthew. I visited Epsom College in Malaysia last year and was very surprised at the scale of the campus and the facilities. Tonight, we will present to you with the title, Why Epsom? Why Asia? The Secrets of Universal Success. Matthew, please show us your slide and carry on your presentation.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Well, let me see if I can share my screen then. So I will do this and I will click on, I think, make sure I get this right, this one. And then I click share and I click slideshow. Now then, can you confirm? No, you checked. Yeah, thumbs up. Is this one? It is working. Lovely. Okay, good. So thank you very much again. So yes, I am the headmaster at Epsom College in Malaysia. We are not far from the airport. We're only 15 minutes away from KLIA, and I'm going to give you some information about our school. We say that we have a British tradition. We follow the British curriculum, but we know that we learn in a global setting with our children going all over the world. So we look for that universal success. And so the next slide just gives a little bit, sorry, let me go back. We have a link to a school in the UK called Epsom College in the UK. Epsom College in the UK has been around for over 150 years as a beacon of excellence, a really fantastic independent boarding school in the UK. Indeed, last year it was voted the Independent School of the Year in 2022. So the best independent school in the UK. And we are the sister school. We are joined together. We work together with that school in the UK, Epsom College in Malaysia. In our campus here in Malaysia, we have a beautiful campus. We have a fantastic range of facilities. We have the school in the front here with all our academic rooms. As I speak to you, I'm sitting behind this window just here, and I am speaking to you from my office. And behind me, I have all the students who are in the houses here who are sleeping in the school. We have about 400 students who sleep at the school. 600 students in total, but 400 will be actually sleeping at the school. Amazing facilities with fields, a swimming pool, a sports center, a golf driving range. Our students love playing golf in the evenings. And also we have the tennis courts here as well. We have, I'll give some more detail, but it is a beautiful campus, only 15 minutes from the international airport. Am I going at the right speed for interpreter? Is that okay? Yeah, okay, I will carry on. The next thing then is our school We are in Malaysia, but we are a British school, and we will select the best international schools from all over the world. They are mostly coming from the UK, but actually we will have some maybe that come from America or Australia and different countries, but we are international. So 90% are coming from UK training, and 90% of them live on site. I interview every teacher personally myself. I will interview them all, and I'm looking for those then who've come from top universities and have studied this PGCE, a British international teaching qualification. So I know that they can teach in this international style, lots of discussion and being very challenging in the classroom. Our class sizes are quite small. The biggest class will be maybe 20 students, but many classes will be much lower than 20, maybe 10 or 15. Okay, the next slide. We are a boarding school. And I think it's 3/4, 75% of our students are boarding at the school. They are sleeping in the boarding houses behind the school. And boarding is maybe very different to what you might think from a long time ago. Our boarding houses are very, very happy, comfortable places to be. Our sixth form students have single ensuite rooms. It's almost like being in a hotel. They love being with their friends, and they love being able to study without leaving the house, without traveling in the car, without wasting time. Their boarding houses are really very happy but also busy places to be. The students learn what is it like to be in university. They become independent, and they get their discipline, and they work very hard. So boarding is an important part of our school. I see the students at breakfast, I see them at lunch, and I see them before they go to bed in the evening. It's a fantastic experience. The other thing then is that we are about 600 students, but we are truly international. We have students coming from 29 different countries. It is incredibly international. You will hear Japanese, you will hear Chinese, you will hear Korean, you will hear Bahasa Malaysia, you will hear mostly English, because that's the only common language. So the students are all speaking English to each other. And so their English will develop very quickly. Students might join us and they are not very good at English, but soon they develop confidence and they are leading assemblies, they are leading presentations, and so on. It's a very easy place to learn and become very fluent in English. Okay. We also cater for parents who want to live in Malaysia, and the students can catch a bus to school. So we have these different bus routes where local, maybe families from Japan, they will live nearby and their children will catch the bus to school. So this is another option. You can stay in boarding house with the students, or the parents can live nearby and their children will catch the bus to school. This is a very popular option with students coming in. Another very good option is where sometimes the students will go home at the weekends. So again, the parent is here in Malaysia, but the student lives in school from Monday to Friday, and then it spends the weekend with their parents. We call this weekday boarding. This is also very popular. Students balancing being in school in the week and then being with their parents at the weekend. We also offer scholarships. So this is reductions in our fees for students who are achieving very high standards. There are three main areas that we offer scholarships. So these reduced fees. One is if the academic ability of the students is very high. So if they are getting these A grades in at least 8 subjects, they are really high performing students, then we offer them a scholarship. But there are two other areas. If they are excellent at sport, then we have a sports scholarship available. And again, that's a big reduction in the fees if they can show they can play sport at the highest level. The same is true for music. Again, if they are excellent musicians and they can join our music life of the school, again, there is a reduction there if they can show that they are playing their music at the highest level. And so there are those options there for joining our school on scholarship opportunities. Academic results are most important. We know that our students need the best grades to go to the best universities. We have students from Japan that have gone to universities in the UK, the top universities in the UK, but also Canada, also America. So our results are excellent. Our students, we expect them to really achieve very high grades in their examinations. We have high expectations, but we also give a lot of support in terms of their work in the evenings and so on. So this is important. Some of our students are exceptional. This young man, Ian George, he had the highest mark in the world in his physics, the highest mark in Malaysia in his mathematics, and the highest mark in Malaysia for his chemistry. Ian is one of our very special students, but it just shows you the caliber, the excellence that some of our students achieve. I'm just thinking about time. Where do our students go? Here's just an example. Kazra, she was from Singapore. She is now studying in the University of Cambridge. We have other students there going to Oxford and Cambridge. Yugendran, he's came from Malaysia. He's now at Stanford University, just some examples. Kai, again, a Malaysian student. He has gone to the University College London, UCL. And again, he is there. And Ian George, the one who was there, who we said had got those amazing grades, he is also at Imperial College in London. And this year, again, we've had some offers already from universities, and Leo is going to Cambridge University. Well, he has an offer to study at Cambridge University, a highly talented young man who's going to go to that incredible university. He just has to get some good grades, which I think he will. Other places are these, lots of familiar names here. Where do our students go to? Cambridge, Imperial, UCL, Manchester. Look, they're all here. That's the UK. We go places in America, University of Melbourne, Canada. I know we have some students from Japan who have gone to the University of British Columbia, UBC. Some go to Singapore and so on. There is a wide range of universities that we support our children to go to. The other area, and this is the last part of my presentation, is we also want to help students who love sport, who are high achievers in their sport, and we want them to excel. And we have 3 sports academies. One is for tennis, one is for golf, and one is for football. Because there's a balance between healthy lives and studying lives, isn't it? That we want students to be fully rounded young people who enjoy sport, who enjoy their free time, but also are achieving high standards in their academics. So a little bit more about that. Our tennis, we have a partnership with this man who is Patrick Muratoglu. He was the coach for Serena Williams, who was the one of those most famous ladies tennis players. And he is leading up our tennis coaching school here at Epsom. And he has another school in Nice, and we are working together with the same coaches and the same methodology. So Patrick Muratoglu is working with us, and here's some of our students here doing their training on clay courts. We even have 2 clay courts as part of our tennis. They're inside this building here. With also our golf, I understand that maybe Japan is the 2nd biggest golf country after the US. Is that right, do you think? I think it might be. Yeah. And so we know that students from Japan and our students from Korea and from China, well, across Asia, they love playing golf. So we have just recently built a golf driving range with 30 bays, with putting greens and chipping greens. And this is at the school site so that our students can play. And in the evenings, many students will come down here and they will practice in the golf range and practice their golf. But we also have top quality trainers who can help students to become elite players. And we have many taking advantage of that. And then the other part is La Liga, football. The whole world loves football. I don't think there's any country, hardly any country that does not love football. And so we have our camps here and we work with La Liga, the league in Spain, and their coaches. Here is Diego working with us, who are then our students get the chance to work with these top quality coaches and build up their football skills as well. Now, one way of visiting our school without actually joining is to join our summer school. Every year we have maybe 300 to 400 students come and learn English for 3 weeks in the summer. It's an excellent opportunity to learn English, but it's also an opportunity to experience what it's like to live and learn and really have your education here at Epsom. This is an excellent opportunity for your children to learn English, but also understand what it's like to attend a school like Epsom. So I really encourage you to think that actually this could be a good option before trying the school, but actually that they come and take part in our annual English summer camp. It's a fantastic opportunity. Okay, I'll leave that on the screen. And that is the end of my presentation. I believe Epsom is a very special place to live, to learn, and to make the most of all your opportunities. Our students go on to amazing universities, but they also leave with this word here, this word, they leave with confidence. And I think that's important too. Thank you very much for your attention. And I'm sorry, Mayu, if I've taken a little bit of your time, a little bit too long, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. A very fantastic presentation. This is just a reminder for the audience. We prepared the questionnaire form from Epsom. So if you answer the questionnaires from Epsom, you can get the latest Epsom activities through the Epsom channel directory. So please help them answer the questions. Okay, so next, Mayu-san. Mayu, she's an independent, sorry. So next presenter is Mayu-san. She has a broad background studied in Japan and abroad. Based on her experiences, she has dedicated to empowering individuals by telling a wide range of choices in education and career paths from the view of the mother of 2 elementary kids. Mayu, please get started to your presentation.
ここから日本語で続けるということでよろしいですか？
英語でお願いいたします。
英語なんですね、ここから。日本語かと思ってました。どうしよう、スライド全部日本語なんですけど。
それでいいです。大
日
丈夫で。
本語です続けて大丈夫ですか？
英語は無理ですか？
やってみましょうか。ちょっと想定してなかったので、どうなるかわかんないですけど。
じゃあ日本語で大丈夫です。
大丈夫ですか？
お願いします。
すいません。
はい。
見えますか？いけます？はい。すいません。てっきり英語だと思って、日本語だと思ってたんですけど、はい。マシュ先生ほど綺麗なスライドじゃなくてすいません。萩原真由と申します。教育、子育てや留学相談の窓口をやっていて、生徒さんの中高生のメンターですとか、あとは情報発信から、いろんなそうですね、教育の選択のお手伝いをしております。で、繰り返しになるんですけれども、一応少し私のバックグラウンドをお話ししておきます。私、大阪で生まれて、公立小学校に小2の1学期まで通っていました。でその後は関西のインターナショナルスクールに7年間英語で、オールイングリッシュで通っていました。その後に、中3からですね、アメリカのボーディングスクールに4年間過ごして、アメリカの大学に一応入学したんですけれども、1学期で中退しております。その後、東京大学に帰国生として再入学をして、最終的には教育学部を卒業しております。で、大学の在学中はですね、英語のプリスクールやサマーキャンプだったり、教育 NGO で働いたりしておりまして、子どもの育ちとか教育に関わることっていうのは、その時から私のライフワークとして続けております。で社会人になってからですね、留学カウンセラーの資格を取得して、その他に多文化教育におけるトレーニングを受けたりしております。で、都内の公立小に今通っている2人の男の子の母親でもあります。こんな感じで、元留学生として、あとは元その教育面のスタッフとして、あとは現役保護者として 3つの目線からですね、教育だったり、子育て、キャリアにおける視点とか選択肢っていうのを提案して、個人の自己決定力を育むお手伝いをしております。で、今日はちょっとスライドだいぶ変えちゃったんですけれども、お時間も限られているということですので、6つのよくある海外教育に関するご質問をまとめてみました。バンバンいっちゃいますね。海外の教育って何がいいのっていうふうに、まず聞かれることがあります。でこれに対しては、本当に人それぞれなんですけれども、もっともらしいお答えを全部挙げるとしたら、国際的な視野が持てることだったり、異文化適応力みたいなものがつくということだったり、語学力、あとはそこでしか得られない経験。今回のお話ですと、マレーシアでしか得られない経験、エプソムでしか得られない経験がある。ですとか、最終的にはそれによって将来のキャリアの可能性が広がるんじゃないかっていうことが、海外の教育のメリットとして言われております。で、結構、もっともらしいといえばもっともらしいんですけれども、別になんか面白そうとか、人と違った体験がしてみたいとか、そういう好奇心由来の、なんか単純なものでも全然私はいいというふうに思っています。あとは、いいところだけじゃなくって、海外の教育っていうを受けるメリット以外にも、逆にデメリットとしては、日本でしか得られない経験が逆に減ってしまうっていうのは、本当にコインの表裏ですけれども、デメリットとしてあるんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。で、海外の教育ってどこで受けられるのっていうことも、よくいただく質問の一つです。そのお答えとしてはですね、今まではインターナショナルスクールですとか、日本ですと、あとは、今回のサマースクールみたいに短期留学、行くとか、長期で卒業の目的の留学に行くとか、交換留学もここに含まれるかもしれませんけども、あとは駐在ですとか、教育移住でご家族ごと、あるいは親子で、海外に行って、そこで教育を受けたりとか、あと最近増えてきているのが、オンラインで海外の教育を受けるという形も増えてきております。もう本当に選択肢はいろいろあります。で、選択肢がいろいろある中で、どうやってじゃあ調べていけばいいのかっていうこともよく聞かれます。もうこれもやっぱりインターネットのおかげなんですけれども、今回のようにウェビナーに参加してみたりとか、ホームページを検索したり、あとは SNS で、いろんな人の話を、追っかけてみたり、することが今はできる時代ですごく便利になりました。他にもですね、学校に直接問い合わせるというのもかなり有効な手段です。特に海外の学校ですと、そういうお問い合わせ対応の部署もしっかり、整っておりますので、すごく丁寧に親切にいろいろ教えてくれます。で、必ずやってほしい、こととしては、経験者とお話をすることですね。その在校生もそうですし、卒業生ですとか、今回ですと校長先生ですし、あとは保護者の方とか、もう本当にいろんな目線でですね、その海外の教育を経験している方のお話を聞くっていうのはすごく参考になります。あとこれもできる限り、もう1校でも2校でもいいので、ちょっと旅行にくっつけてですね、現地を訪問していただいて、現地の気候ですとか、治安の感じ方とか、五感でいろいろ確かめられることがたくさんありますので、これはもう全員ができることではないと思うんですけれども、基本的に海外の学校はウェルカムですので、ぜひ一度足を運んでみていただいて、確認をしていただきたいなと思います。で、最後にですね、これは私が元留学カウンセラー、留学エージェントで働いていたから言えることなんですけれども、これももう必須ではないです。留学カウンセラーに相談してみると、また、違った視点でのご提案ですとか、アドバイスとか、いろんな他の方のケースのお話を聞けたりとかするので、こういった5つの手段を使ってですね、海外の教育について調べることができます。で、どうやって、じゃあいろいろあるのが分かったけれども、どうやって選ぶんでしょうっていうところですね。ここからがちょっと、留学エージェントさんにはあんまり聞けないかもしれないようなお話になってくるかもしれないです。私がよくお伝えしているのは、海外の教育はもう基本子供本人が行きたいと思えるところに行きたいと思えるタイミングで行ってくださいというふうにお答えしております。これは海外駐在とか になってくると、選べないタイミングもあると思うんですけれども、基本的にはやっぱり一番大変なのはお子様です。私も自身も留学生として行ったこともありますし、まあ、国内でインターナショナルスクールを選ぶにしても、親とは全然違う経験を子供が初めてするっていうことになるので、お子様がせっかく選ぶのであれば、選べるのであれば、子供が行きたいと思えるところに行きたいと思えるタイミングで、行ってみてください。で、これもよく聞かれます。どうやって子供をじゃあその気にさせるんだと。はい。で私がこの場合も、よくお伝えしているのは、馬を水辺に連れて行くことはできても、水を飲ませることはできないというふうな言い方がありますけれども、海外に必ず行かないと歩めない人生っていうのは、まず存在しないでしょうし、どうせその海外の教育を選べる、その財力であったり、お時間があるようでしたら、本人が本当にやりたがっていることに時間とお金を使ってあげてほしいなっていうふうに私は思います。でも、まあ、まだお子様が小さくって、これからまだ種まきを何かしたいと、今後海外に行きたいって本人が言い出すようにしたいっていう方にはですね、今現在好きなものがもしあるようでしたら、それと海外のニュースなど話題を絡めて、普段の会話の中に散りばめていただけるといいんじゃないかなと思います。一つのアドバイスとして。例えばです。例えばですけど、最近テニスですね。テニスでオーストラリアでメルボルンオープンあったと思うんですけど、私の子供がすごく好きでして、テニスで優勝したのがイタリア人のシナーっていう選手が優勝したんですね。イタリア人です。優勝して、スピーチは英語なんですよね。で、子供とそういう、まあ、オーストラリアという国で、テニスの試合がありましたと。で、ここで優勝したイタリア人が英語で流暢に、いろんな方に感謝を述べたり、スピーチをしているねっていうようなお話をしたりとか、まあ、すごく、卑近な例なんですけど、まあ、そんな感じでですね、今本人がやりたがっていること、好きなこと、もしかしたらそれを突き詰めた先に海外があるかもしれないし、たとえ、日本の伝統芸能がすごく好きです。こんなの海外でどうしようもないかもしれないと思うかもしれないんですけど、そういうことであっても、いくらでも海外展開とか、逆にインバウンドの最適化、インバウンドにこう合わせていくっていうことも考えられますので、まあ、日本に暮らしている現代はもうすでに海外と切り離すことは何もできない時代ですので、そんなに悲観的になることもないのかなというふうに私は思います。で、仮に中高で行かなくても、大学でチャンスはあるかもしれないし、大学で行かなくても社会人の時にチャンスあるかもしれないし、人生は100年時代ですので、障害学習やリスキリングのことも考えながら、もしかしたらどこかで海外が、絡んでくるかもしれないっていう可能性をいつも念頭に置いておくといいんじゃないかなと思います。で、結局何がベストなのっていうところなんですけれども、私はよく相談をこう受けるんですけれども、結局私には答えはなくてですね、あるとしたら子供が答えを持っているはずです。私、いろんな学校を海外で見てきているんですけれども、やっぱり出会ってみて、その生徒さんに出会ってみて一番いいなって思うのは、どの学校であっても、やりたいことがはっきりしているお子さんなんですよね。ここで僕はこんなことがしたいんだ。テニスでもいいですし、勉強で、数学でもいいんですけれども、何でもいいので、その子が本人自分で今やりたいことがはっきりしているお子様っていうのはすごく輝いています。それはどんな学校行ってもそうです。で、なので、結局何がベストなのっていうところを確かめたければ、お子さんとご家族の中でですね、どんな生活をじゃあこれから送りたいのかとか、どんな学校の一員になりたいのか、そういったところをですね、何回もこう会話を重ねていくっていうところで、まだわからなくてもいいので、仮説を立てながら、それを確かめながらっていうサイクルを回していければ少しずつはっきりしてくるんじゃないかなと思います。で、最後になるんですけれども、私のところに相談に来られる方は別に必ずしも留学だとか海外の教育を選びたい方ばかりではなくてですね、基本的にはこうなりたいっていうことは本当人それぞれ、お子様それぞれ、家庭それぞれです。でも皆さんに共通して言えることっていうのがあって、お子様だったり、まあ、お父さんお母さんが自分の頭で考えて、仮でもいいので決めて、で、選んだこと を正解にしていくっていうことが、結局、それが、まあ、学校選びだとしたら学校選びで、その子の将来何かを選択して決めて、自分でその責任を取っていくっていう一つの生きる練習になっているのかなと思いますので、もう学校選びに限らずですね、休日など自由時間の使い方とか、レストランのメニューを決めるときとか、毎日着る洋服一つとっても、何か使う道具一つとっても、もう自分はこれを選ぶ、やってみる。で、それで間違えてもそれも一つのノウハウとして蓄積していくっていう日常の小さな決断の積み重ねの先にもしかしたら海外の教育をこう必然的に選ぶ時が来るかもしれない。まあ、普段からそういうふうに全部つながっているっていう気持ちで、日々送っていただけたらいいんじゃないかなというふうに思っております。はい、ちょっと大きな話になってしまったんですけれども、これで最後ですね。はい。もし、もっと知りたい方がいらっしゃいましたら、私のホームページだとか、まあ、インスタとか、ツイッターとかやってますので、ぜひご覧ください。はい、以上となります。すいません。日本語になりました。
Thank you very much, Mayu-san. Okay, Matthew, Hagibara-san, can you speak in English for next session? Okay, I will ask you the question in English, and please reply to our questions. My question in English. Okay. So the presentation from two speakers have just ended. And as a father of two kids, it was very, very interesting and interesting topic. And for audience, you may have also the questions towards the two speakers. Please, if you have a questions for the speakers, please put in your questions in the Q&A button. Okay, so let's move to the next session. This session is open session. Basically, I will ask questions to two speakers based on questions we received from audience in advance. Of course, there may be questions from speakers to speakers. So I will also ask each speakers if you have something you want to ask to another speaker. Okay. So I want to ask a question, the first question to Matthew. First question. Some of the audience are interested in season program, such as summer camp, as just you explained. The question from audience is that how much the total cost if they participate in your summer program, and if participants follow their child, is it possible to find accommodation nearby your campus? And what are the particular points you can be proud of your summer program, which are totally different from other programs in Asian international schools?
Very good questions. The price, I'm afraid I'm not sure what the price is. I'm sorry about that, but maybe you'll find that on the website. I think then you said about the accommodation. All of our students, when they come on the summer school, they live in the boarding houses. So all of the students coming from different parts of Asia for those 3 weeks, they live in the boarding houses. They experience boarding school life. So they have their meals in school and they do all of their learning and so on. So most of the students are actually living in the school for the British summer school. The other question was what things are particularly that we are proud of with our summer school. I think it's the best thing is that they make very good progress with their English. They will come when they first arrive. They are a bit nervous, but soon they will make friends with people from all different parts of Asia. And then by the end of the program, they are giving presentations in English. They are speaking, they have made good progress. We've put them in classes where their English is similar ability, so they will soon improve together. The other really good thing about that summer school is they will go on many excursions. We will take them to different places. We will visit KL. We will visit Malacca. We will visit the zoo. And a lot of the learning activities are related to the excursions and the trips. Also, the campus is for them to use. They will play golf. They will play tennis. they will play football, they will take part in the sports, they will do singing, and they will do music. So basically, it's just like being in our school. They use everything that we have on the campus.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. So the next question is going to Mayu. After listening to the presentation from Matthew, what kind of impression do you have on the benefit or uniqueness of going to international schools in Asia or in Malaysia rather than the US or European countries? Are there any other points you found in his presentation?
Interesting question. To be honest, I've never been to Malaysia, although I really would love to. Other parts of Asia that I've traveled to, it would be the Philippines, Indonesia. So I've been close enough, I think I could say. The biggest difference would be climate, and also the demographic of the country, and probably the student population as well. I do see a lot of similarities too, being the structural and immersive learning experience, and how boarding school life would foster independence and a sense of community in the school. Yeah, I guess choosing Malaysia over other countries would also be cost-wise. I'm not sure. Maybe Matthew, you're a better person to speak for the parents who actually choose the school. But to me, it also provides, I think it's going to school in the US or even in North America, and also I would imagine in UK, a lot of students actually aim for schools in that host country, universities in that host country. So in a way, there's little variation in the kind of higher education the students are looking for. But I'm imagining, Matthew, if you want to add to this, please do. I'm guessing that in Malaysia, your students would be looking at destinations all over the world, even in Malaysia, even to Japan or other parts of the world. So I would imagine it actually aligns with what I'm saying. Having options really empowers students and young people to make decisions for themselves, and really think not be influenced too much by what's prevalent in that country, if you know what I mean.
Can I add a few thoughts? I think for me, I think what is wonderful about learning in international school in Malaysia or in Epsom is that variety of experience. If you go to study in the UK, you will be in a school full of the UK students, but maybe not so many people from other countries. I think some other schools in international schools in some other Asian countries are full of the national. So maybe you go to an international school in Korea, well, 90% of the students are maybe from Korea. Whereas here in Malaysia, half of our students come from Malaysia, the other half are coming from many international. So students get to feel and understand each other's culture in an English-rich environment. So they will mix with students from Malaysia, from Korea, from Japan, from Indonesia. We have some students coming from Bangladesh and from India. You know, there is they get to build a confidence of mixing with people from different cultures and not being frightened by other cultures, but actually making friends with them. So perhaps if they study in America, they're only with Americans. If they're in the UK, they're only with the British. Whereas here they get the British experience, but a wider range. And the one other thing, just this evening, because we have the Spring Festival, we are not far from home. So our students, many of our students are traveling home this weekend. We have minibuses going to the airport, and they are going home and spending the Spring Festival with their families in their home countries. If you are in the UK or USA, it's too far. You cannot just go home. Whereas our students, they say they'll catch a flight tonight, they'll be with their families for the week, and then they will come back next week. So it's a real, you get the UK or the American experience, but you are close to home, and you can soon be back home with your families. And so the children are all in, going off to the airport this evening, which is great to see.
Thank you, Mashu. Actually, there are a lot of questions we just received from the audience.
I can see 19 questions. Wow.
Yes. So let's start question from audience. The first question is what kind of students are you looking for in Epsom College, Malaysia? What kind of students do you want them to get in your school?
That's really good question. And we do not say that they have to be super clever, but we want them to be curious. We want them to be students that want to learn, that enjoy a challenge, that enjoy getting involved and making the most of their time in school. Students that, like I say, curious, enthusiastic, and quick to learn from different experiences. That's what we're looking for, really. And who are looking to make the most of their time and be enthusiastic.
Thank you, Mashu. So the second question is here. It appears that there are some very academically talented students at your school, but his question is, can they have advanced classes with Epsom? Are there teaching assistants in your study hall, or they access alternative external studying program? Do you have an answer?
Okay, that's a good question. Yes, we do have some academically talented students, and some will come to us and they become academically talented because they work hard. I think for us in the school, this is one advantage of boarding. In the evenings, our teachers are in the boarding houses. So between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., they are doing their homework. They're doing, we call it prep, and they are having help from teachers to make sure they're doing a very high standard of their homework. So I think that is very important. Some students, not many, the families will say, can we also give some tuition? Can they also, because maybe they're learning something, and so sometimes some students will do some extra tuition, but not many, and we do not say they should. And in fact, we make sure what's very important, there is a good balance between working hard and relaxing, making friends, and keeping your spirit positive. If you are only studying till 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever it might be, then sometimes the student's spirit and their life and enthusiasm will become less. So we're very careful to balance. And I think that's probably sort of some of the things that Maya was talking about earlier, I think.
Okay. So the next question.
Can I just say, there's one thing, we don't encourage cram schools. I think cram schools, they are children. How do we learn best? How do we learn best? We learn best when we feel happy, when we're relaxed. When people, if they win the gold medal, is it because they went to a cram athletic school? No, it's about training over time and flourishing over time. Yeah, fair.
I see. So the next question is regarding the public order in Malaysia. There are some same questions from the audience in advance, that the national security issues in Malaysia. So how is the situation of this point?
Gosh, okay. I've now lived in Malaysia for 6 years, and I've been at Epsom College for 6 years. I find Malaysia to be a very safe, happy, and friendly country. We are about 1 hour from the Kuala Lumpur. We are out in a rural area. The whole school is surrounded by a fence that is 3 meters tall. We have a team of 10 guards who are working security guards from Nepal, who are working at the school 24 hours a day. I would say that the school here is very, very safe. And I think the best way to understand is perhaps to visit our website or come and visit the school. I feel it's a place that is very safe, and because we are outside of the city, again, that makes it even safer. We have, like I say, we're very secure campus, just one entrance and one exit, and the guards are on every exit, and they make sure everybody is safe on campus.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is the participation in the school event. If the Japanese students live with the parents, the 4 parents, do they need to participate in the school event together?
Every event is open to every student. They are welcome to take part in everything. So, for example, we have a show. We are doing a show at the moment. It's called We Will Rock You, which is a show with a band and live music. And our boarding students are taking part, but our parents are also picking up some students later. So they will come to the practice, and then after the practice, they go home. So it can be a mixture, but we encourage people to take part in as many things as they want to and that they are able to, but we do not force them. If they do not want to take part in maybe the show or a sport activity, then it's up to them, but we will encourage as much as we can.
Thank you. So maybe Mayu, you also have a question towards Matthew or Epsom College. Do you have any questions?
If I may, how do you find balance between the local influence and the traditional UK education, and also the variety of mixture of cultures of your students? For example, speaking for Japanese students, would Japanese students be able to take Japanese classes or have opportunities to display their culture, and the other way around as well? Do they have any opportunities to learn about Malaysia in English or not? Do you have any thoughts on that?
That's a very good question, and I need to keep my answer quite short because I could talk for a long time. What we want to do is we want to celebrate the widest range of culture. So yes, sometimes we will talk about things that are happening in the UK. So when the Queen, when she passed away, we talked about that. But also we celebrate Spring Festival, which is celebrated across Asia. We will celebrate Malaysian festivals. We have Culture Week, where we celebrate everybody's festival. So the Japanese students will dress in their traditional Japanese dress, and they will celebrate that. The Koreans will dress in there, and it's a fantastic week. We will have Japanese singing. We will have K-pop. There were many different things that will happen in the school for that particular week. So yes, we do want students to celebrate their culture. We do not want them to become like British. We're not trying to make them British. That's not right. They are Japanese or they are Asian, but we want them to be confident wherever they are. So if they end up working in the USA, they are confident. If they work in the UK, they are confident. China, or they go back home to Japan, they have a wider understanding of the world, and they appreciate each other's culture, and they learn that there's lots to like about each other. And we have a lot in common. So yeah, we try to celebrate as much as possible everybody's culture. And yes, they can carry on learning their Japanese with here as well. Yes, important.
Thank you, Mashu.
Thank you.
Oh, this is a relevant question just you mentioned. This is one of the questions from the audience. Why do you think Asian parents prefer to choose British boarding schools in Asia rather than boarding schools in the UK or US?
Ooh. I mean, that's a good question. I think I mentioned before, I think it's a bit like when I was talking about our students tonight. They're going home. They can go home we have 6 days where we have holiday for the Spring Festival. They get to go home and they can see their parents. And so if there is, and also parents, sometimes if something is wrong or the child is feeling ill, sometimes the parent will, one of the parents will come over to Malaysia and they can be with their child within 5 or 6 hours and they can be alongside. So that, I think that is one thing. I think the other thing is that we are looking to be international. We're not trying to be British. We're not trying to be in particular. We're looking to create an understanding across countries and across nationalities. And I think we achieved that probably better in a school like ours with 29 different nationalities than joining perhaps another school that is only perhaps one nationality. So I think perhaps that is it. And I would say the last, why would you, you want your children to be happy and you want them to be successful, don't you? That's it at the end of the day. And maybe you think that moving all the way to the UK and being so far from home might make them either unhappy and then they're not as successful. Whereas coming to a school like ours, you can have the best of both worlds, I think. I think the best people to speak to are parents that have got children in the school and ask them how they feel. Perhaps that would be the best thing, perhaps.
Okay, thank you. So this is a question that I also had the same. The student career path after graduation. This question is, if the students cannot pass the IGCSE or A-level test, what kind of path will they go through after graduation?
We are very good at finding the right place for our students. And you are right. Sometimes, we saw, didn't we, that Ian Tay was getting all those A stars and the best marks in the world. That's okay, easy. But for other students, we know that they are struggle and they may find it more difficult, but we will always able to find the next place for them. Some universities will have another year where they help their students to get ready to study at university. So sometimes a student might enter one of the universities in the UK and have an extra year of study. And we've got good links with universities that will help with that. Sometimes, again, there is always lots of communication between us and parents to find the best way forward. And like I say, for some students, it's having an extra year in university to help them before they maybe start their full degree. Is that the kind of question? Have I answered your question, do you think?
Yep, that's enough, I think.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this is a question towards the Mayu-san. There's a particular point in international schools, which is a diverse community with different nationalities. How much this situation, this inclusive environment will affect on mentality and the performance of kids?
Wow, that's a really hard question. There's always benefits to anything, and also downside to anything that can happen to children. It's always important to stay optimistic, but if I were to point out any challenges maybe or challenges that may influence the children in any way, I think it's important to mention adjusting to a new school itself is stressful, and you have to add that cultural aspect to it. It's very stressful for children, and but learning in a new, and also learning in a new language is very different. It's like being your old original self being taken away. But the unique experience itself, surviving that kind of adds to your confidence and your confidence that you can survive pretty much any other environment that you put yourself into afterwards. So yeah, I think going through that at such an early age, the benefits of doing that, I think it nurtures empathy in children, understanding of different perspectives, and it also builds their patience. So I think there's lots of good sides to that. If I answered your
Okay,
question.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a very
Very
tricky
difficult.
question. Yeah, sorry about it. Matthew?
Could I say something along about in answer to your question as well?
Okay.
I think for us, I know what you're saying is like you build resilience, but actually, because we in our school, I think it's something like 15% are coming from Japan. In every house, in the boarding house, in every lesson, there are some students who are coming from Japan. And so sometimes students, when they first arrive, they will want to make friends with the Japanese friends first because they feel comfortable and they feel like it's a home from home. And then they start building friends with other students from other countries. So it's not as if you were the only, and maybe this is why going to the UK could be very, very scary, because there is nobody who speaks Japanese and you are isolated. But in a place like Epsom, there are always some other people that are able to speak your language. So often in the meal times, they like to sit with their friends from Japan and just talk Japanese because it helps them relax. But in their lessons and in every other activity, they're using their English. But sometimes they need also to relax, and they can do that in Epsom because they can always find someone who can help them by just speaking Japanese and relax.
Thank you very much. So now that it's a timeout of this session.
But we have 25 questions.
Yeah, we still have many questions that we haven't answered, but it's a timeout. So we will.
Can I say then, if anybody have question, and they can just contact us at the school, and we will get back to them. Anybody who has any question, if they contact the school through the website, we will answer any question that people ask.
Okay, as I introduced before, we put the questionnaire form from Epsom College. So if you answer those questions, Epsom College, you can contact directly to the Epsom College.
Oh, I see it there. Look at that.
So
yeah, okay.
if you have a question, you can put your question into this form, questionnaire form, and send it. Maybe you will receive the answers of your question from Epsom College later.
Okay.
Matthew, is it okay?
That's very, very good.
Okay.
I just want to be able to say thank you before we finish, but I'll let you take care.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the session 2 is now end. So yeah, okay. さあ、村田さん、お戻しします。最後、締めの方よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the guest speakers, two of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Great.
村田さん。
はい。大変お話を聞いていて、やっぱりまゆ先生のお話だったり、やっぱり実際の体験と、やっぱりマシュ先生の現在教えてる側のお話がですね、大変皆さん、この質問の量に反映されてきたのかなと思います。で、早速なんですが、先ほどスーさんからお話ありましたように、アンケートにお答えいただきますと、エプソン側からですね、実際の個別相談だったり、いろんな最新情報がお送りさせていただきます。で、また本日の特典として、まゆ先生も、マシュ先生も、資料を、スライドで使った資料ですね、PDF で、アンケートをお答えいただいた方にお送りさせていただくということですので、そちらの資料も、ぜひご検討の資料としてください。で、あとですね、実際にエプソンカレッジのリアルイベントが開催されます。皆さんご質問がたくさんあるということで、直に聞いていただきたいなと思います。3月3日、ビジョンセンター品川、こちら東京ですね。4月21日、AP 大阪茶屋町の方で開催されます。どちらも日曜日ですので、もちろんね、親子でぜひ質問して、実際に質問してお会いできればと思います。私の方からそうですね、皆さん本当に長い時間参加いただきましてありがとうございます。Thank you very much, Mr. Mashu and まゆ先生 and つるさん。で、このイベントはですね、今後も継続していろんな意味でアジアの ボーディングスクールという視点も含めて続けていきたいと思います。改めましてご参加いただきましてありがとうございます。また通訳の方ありがとうございます。とてもわかりやすかったです。つゆさん、以上、私の方は以上です。
はい。では、こちらの方で、本日のセッションの方終了でございます。本日ご参加いただきました皆様、ありがとうございました。非常に熱心なお声もいただき、また多くの質問もいただいたということで、我々主催者一同、非常に感激しております。また、こういったセッションですね、次回以降も設けさせていただきたいと思っておりますので、ぜひ、ご参加いただければと思います。では、この辺で、本日のウェビナーの方を終了させていただきます。では、皆様ありがとうございました。Have a good night, everyone.
ありがとうございました。